Hello again, traders. Right, I am probably going to regret this. So I'm going to ask now that people don't concentrate on this indicator here and ask me loads and loads of questions about it. The indicator's name is SonicR Field Dragon Trend. Now, Sonic DJ, Sonic R, was around about, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago on Forex Factory. And he created an indicator that looked a bit like this. If memory serves me correct, they are the 34 moving average with the high, low, and the median between them, the average between them. So, yeah, that's right, high and low, that's it, yeah. It might be close in the middle. So, um, So you have three, if you've got to put them on manually, you would put three moving averages, all 34, and one would be set to the high, one would be set to the low, one would be set to the close or open, I'm not sure. You need to go to his thread on Forex Factory. And before I made this, quickly, I thought, oh, I better check because I'm going to get asked for it on TradingView, and there are monster amounts of indicators, threads dedicated to it, and stuff like that. So if you go to TradingView, look at the favorites on the indicators, type in the search box Sonic, and you will be able to find something similar to this. Now, I liked this because it is a trend. Sonic was a trend trader, and obviously any trend trader that I could find information on, I was all over like a rash. I did have a go at trading it. I liked it, and the rules, if I remember correctly, are you wait for the price to pop up and close through the band. This little pink one, I think, is the 89 EMA, but again, it might be a 69 actually. I can't remember. 89. Do you know EMAs? It's all bollocks anyway. Excuse my French. You could have this could be the 35, 33, 36, 39, 40, whatever, and it would still probably work the same. You know, I am a strictly um, trend line drawer, and you know, I suggest to everyone learn how to use candlesticks on their own with no indicators, none of this, just trend analysis, the line chart, and then you can add back indicators. Now, the reason I've put this indicator on here was because a person who shall remain nameless on Twitter um, sort of concerned me because he just didn't get the three candle reversal method, didn't get it, and consequently has probably moved on to other stuff. And you know, I replied and said, look, you know, all we are trading is trends. All we are trading is this down move changed to an up move with low, high, high, low, high, high. This is where the entry is: low, high, higher, low. Once we've broken that, we are in a new uptrend, higher, high, and you can see what's happened with price. Now, and the same goes for the downway as well. But, and this is interesting, I'd noticed this actually, with the sonic band, the dragon as he called it. In fact, I'll show you the indicator, and I must remember to sort that. There it is there, Sonic _1 space solid space dragon, and it's for the black background. There's also ones for white backgrounds, and you can find that on Forex Factory. I will put a link on my free indicators list on Twitter. So what I just noticed was interesting there was that the line chart actually does the same job as Sonic's original, I think, rules were, and that is wait for a close below the band, and I assume the guy called himself TAH, and absolutely messed up Sonic's thread in my opinion, and that's if you go onto that you will see. Oh no, it doesn't say trader at home on this one, but TAH, just useless, horrible. Anyway, that's another story. But Sonic had the rule that watch for a break and close below the band, and I think he wanted to see also a nice angle on the band too. and then wait for the next one to happen, and that's when you can start to look to get into the trade. But that would have been bad. This would have been good. The reason being there's no, the angle on the band is flat. This one's slightly better because we can see this is curving down, and it would have been even better to get in at this point here. But what I hadn't got way back then when I was looking at this, all I had was some swing trend analysis and a few other little indicators sold to me by my mentor, and that's another story. But what you can see here is a clear break and close through because the line chart's telling us that. And I'm talking about through the band. I can't get rid of that. Well, I could change the color of that and get rid of it, but you know, that's up to you if you want to do that. In fact, I will do that now because it's not really integral. No, I'll leave it on because I think there is a rule that the guy later on added to it, that you only trade when the price is above the pink and you only go short when it's below the pink. But that's overcomplicating it even more. Sonic's rules were wait for a candle to break through like this, then wait for your pullback, and then wait for the next close through it, and that would be your signal to trade this. You will also notice that this then almost always confirms the trend line reversal. And you know, so if you are struggling with my method and you're getting bogged down by the 3CRs and what they mean and so on and so forth, you could just look for, you know, there's this line break situation as well. That was the one we talked about at the start. That was the next one that I said was with the better angle. And there finally we get the push down. Notice how it all ties up with strong momentum. Notice this failed, but we didn't get a trigger anyway. You know, so if this is a little eureka moment for one person that follows me on Twitter and watches my videos, then it's worth mentioning, and that is the reason I've mentioned it. It's not to complicate things. It isn't to make life easy. You know, the easiest way possible to trade is on a line chart with descending trend line, ascending trend line, and watching your trends and watching the 3CRs. But this could just be that light bulb moment for someone out there, and that's why it's worth mentioning. I studied this thing at length and I liked it a lot, but at the time I hadn't got the patience and discipline required not to take 10 trades a day and undo all the good I've done at the start of the day, and that was why I was failing. No other reason. The method is solid. Sonic's method is solid. Don't forget you can get it on TradingView with just Google Sonic. Sonic's been around for over a decade, well over, maybe close to 2 decades now. The method is solid. So pop up, pull back, break and close, boom. And it happens all the time. So, you know, there's loads of things that occurred to me when I put this back on my charts last night. Was, you know, we've got our 4-hour job. We were on the 4-hour chart now. So you can see your Asian session levels there. So you could also tie this up with the Asian session breaks and closes, and then you can use it on the lower time frames. The beauty about this thing is that it tells you on every time frame, and that is another reason I've put it on here. You know, when we're here, we know we should be looking for longs, and when we get the trigger, we can take it. No shortcuts. You still need to do your analysis, but you know, with the band on the top of the candles, I think it actually, for people that are experienced with 3-candle reversals and trend reversals and stuff like that, they've been doing this for ages, this might be just a simple tool to make life easy for ourselves. But if you're not used to it, then all you have to do is go to properties and change the chart to the foreground. And what that does then is put the candles on top of the dragon. Not sure why it didn't do that then. Maybe chart on foreground. Sorry, I didn't tick it, did I? Okay. There we go. Candles on there. So for, when you're learning your candlestick analysis, have it on the background. If you know what you're up to and you know all you're looking for is this line chart bust through it, because that is the close of the candle. That's what Sonic originally said was needed to happen. You needed to break and close out of the band, then come back and then enter on the new break and close of that line chart, which is what I talk about all the time anyway, if you remember. I'm always talking about this 1, 2, 3, or you can call it cup and handle. Some people do, and you can clearly see the cup and handles formation there. There's the cup, there's the handle, there's the breakout of it. So moving on between the time frames is also a great piece of kit too, because you can see where you should be in relation to the time frames. So you can see, in other words, that H4 move up was part of this big weekly move up. I didn't explain that very well, so we'll try again. Let's get on the low time frames. I think the price is just catching up. Not sure what's going on there. Let's put the candles back on. Apologies, I'm getting confused between TradingView and MT4 now, so it will pass, I'm sure. So going back to where we are in relation to other time frames, let's pull gold up actually, because I had a play on gold this morning, so we could do cleaning up the chart a bit. I think I'm trying to get rid of that blue box. So gold was a long trade this morning on the 5-minute chart, and you can clearly see now how this benefits a visual, gives you a visual sort of indication of what you should be doing. You can clearly draw your descending trend line, attaching highs that make lower lows, and then you can clearly draw ascending trend line there, and then get a bit more angle on it once we've started to create new highs. And you can look at your line chart just to confirm that what we were talking about just now. Sorry, that was a trading view there. So low, high, high, low breakout. You can see your you can clearly see your trend there as well, and you can see how clearly the dragon has indicated what we should be doing. We're even above that 89 EMA that I don't take much notice of, but and then you can clearly see how the trend has broken on the candlesticks and the swings. Once again, line chart shows you where you are in relation to that. Notice how price has broken through, pulled back, and used the old resistance as support. That is what we're doing. We're climbing. Think of these as stairs. Here's a new step here. Excuse me. A step, a step, a step, a step, because they all force the price lower than the previous low. Okay? Just debatable, that one, but it did. And finally, this one wouldn't be a valid step, although we can clearly see it is a level of resistance because price has just been battering up against it, as it were, all that time. Finally broke out and did its stuff. So what else can we use this dragon for? Well, look how the dragon was where the price had a sort of problem area. So, when you're trading up, you can clearly see the area of congestion over here that may cause a problem when you're pushing on up. On the reverse side of that, you can clearly see where support has caused the dragon to push up, or price, and this is the area that will probably cause a problem if price is going down. The other point I was making about the dragon on the every time frame is that you can clearly also see that, you know, price is in a massive downtrend, you know that anyway, but the dragon does help you with that. If it's turning down, if this turns down now and price is below on the RSI histo, what do we expect to happen? RSI histo to push down, pull up, and then do the break and close, the bigger momentum. So this sort of scenario here, push down, pull up, and then big momentum, and boom, down it goes. So none of this is new. If the dragon helps you decide where you are in a trade and where you should be looking, then it can't be a bad thing. There's so many points I could mention about the dragon that will aid you in your decision making trading. Just a quick visual aid through loads of charts. Oh yes, I'm below the dragon, I could do with a pullback. My RSI looks a little bit to the downside here, for example. Broken through the dragon, pulled back, RSI is looking great, momentum down, boom, it's gone. Then we've also got the S1 that was broken, we've also got the Asian range that was broken through. We're below the dragon. How many more points do you need to tell you to go short? Now, I know loads of people use these MAs that I have no truck with at all. You know, the 50, the 40, the 20, the 34, the 30, the 9, you know, the 3, and they can make bands of them and rainbows and all sorts of things. They're all arbitrary, and they are all imprecise. The dragon's imprecise, but the dragon, we're not looking for precision trading the dragon. Just make sure your price is closed below, that's what the line chart's telling you. Then wait for the pop back, look at the RSI, and that's all we're looking for. 3 candle reversals. It's great that these levels are on the line charts, because when you're up here and you're waiting to short this, you get a nice little 3 candle reversal to the upside. We should then wait for a nice little 3 candle reversal to the downside. That would be pink. It's hard to see the colours, I know, but that, you know, tie all those things in together and you've got a fantastic set of tick boxes. This is the H1 chart. H4 chart, now clearly we can see oh, the boxes haven't caught up. There we go. Clearly we can see we're in a downtrend, but clearly also we can see we are at some sort of massive support as well. Now, the one final thing that I would like to say about the dragon, there's probably loads I've forgotten, and maybe make a part 2 of this when I've thought about it, is that you want to be getting in just after the break, you know, just after the trigger for the entry, because that's the power move. That's your pop up. Here's your pullback, and this is your momentum move here. Okay, pop up, pull back, and then we've broken and closed through this this thing here. Notice there was no trigger at this point because we hadn't got a green that had a pullback that had a bust and break up. This wasn't the trigger because it hadn't broken the high of that. At no point at any green had this combination green, red, green. Green, red, green, but it didn't break the high. If this had hit the 20, that might have been worth having a look at. But then you don't just enter on the strength of these. You go through every lower time frame and make sure they all tie up. So green, green, red, green that breaks the high of that one, that's the critical thing. Okay? That's the bust, break and close scenario. So the dragon, you know, we've got, if we look at the candles, but you don't need to, line charts to suffice really. There's your pop up and close through the band. This is your pullback, and here you can well, it did actually break through all the levels there. That broke the line chart by the looks of it. Let's put a So, you know, don't hang off every word that I put on here with anything, to be honest with you. Um, you know, price is breaking levels. Learn about the dragon by doing your own chart study. Draw ascending trend lines. Watch what happens when this thing pops through and finally gets broken through again. Teach yourself price action. It's there. You've got decades of information there. Now look what happens when this is a bit thick, this line, for precision. Let's go for that level there. Look what happens. Candles closed above the line chart. All this is noise. That's the important bit. There's your 3CR. There's your bust, pullback, break and close. There's your explosive move. There is your descending and ascending trend line that only becomes valid when that high is broken by price there. Swing 1, 2, 3. Accumulation 4, explosive move 5. This is just a random chart. I've not sort of staged this or anything like that. I've just, picked a random time frame, and lo and behold, you can find valid, perfectly valid trades. Notice here it popped up, but it didn't break the 34 EMA or the dragon. It didn't break on the line chart. That wasn't really, that was just swing 1, 2, 3. That was just, to emphasize what I'm talking about, that is just a pullback on this downtrend. That is not an uptrend until this high is broken. This high is broken by the new high. Then you get swing 4, then you get swing 5. And in the opposite direction, we've got exactly the same scenario. The dragon's turned the opposite way. It's popped down. We could have got faked into this a little bit, but it's a daily chart, so your stop needed to be up above all this old support that created a new high. So your stop would want to be somewhere around there with your spread added and to be on the safe side. Not sure whether it got taken out. No, it didn't get touched. It didn't go any near it, did it? But that, stop needs to be behind old support, old supply, so that you know it's been exhausted before you consider entering. So this was a tricky one, but the ascending and descending trend line, this would have been the first valid trend line drawn there, and that just looks scary steep, but there was a big move down. The minute that low was broken, that's where your potential entry on the lower time frame was. Then notice you can't draw a trend line there because that high hasn't broken that low, but you can draw a valid trend line there, and once that low there is broken, notice it wasn't broken there, once it's closed through there by the line chart, that's your valid entry there. I know it's getting a bit confusing now, but the whole point of this is it's in the right. I'm not trying to complicate things. This was part of my learning process. But the important thing is yeah, it's gone. It's a little bit late, but we wouldn't have got in on this bar. Well, we could have got in lower earlier actually, because we've got the bust, pullback, break and close, and that's where the precision comes in. So this is where you have to teach yourself. Always wait for the AAA ones, but this is minus 14,216. Double check that. Minus 14. Oh, lucky I did double check it. Minus 1498. Minus 15 something. Come on. Minus 1508. Or even if you've taken the next one, that tiny little bar there, 17. So, you know, I mean, you will learn. You know this is pulled back to try and fake in the long traders. Then it's even done it one last time. That will probably have failed to make a higher high. It did. So that in itself is a signal that the sellers are overwhelming the buyers. So, when you get that trigger there was in fact a good trade there. So learn from past price action. We've got all these different tick boxes that will help us. And this dragon is a very, very useful tool, in my opinion. I loved it. But now we have the RSI, and now we have the 3CRs. It is probably priceless, unbeatable. I know I use that a lot, but I'm not worried about having the dragon on my charts. I might have it on, I might not. But if it helps someone realize that you've got to be going long when you're above that dragon with its curved up and you've drawn your ascending and descending trend lines, the other way around, I should say, when you're going long as a result of being above the dragon on a lower time frame here, to expect to be short again because you're below the dragon. And finally, you always want to be trading as near to that crossover as the dragon as possible, with clear targets above you and obviously for shorts below you. Okay, I better stop this, otherwise I won't save this video. Thanks for watching. Any questions, stick it on Twitter please, because I don't like the interface on YouTube so much. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.